What if the sky above your city became the deadliest frontier? What if drones, not armies, mark the new reality of warfare, buzzing overhead and striking homes, not just bunkers? What if your government, your air defenses, and your allies failed you in the most violent way possible? That's what Kyiv faced in early July 2025, when Russia launched its most massive drone and missile offensive of the war. This wasn't another skirmish. It was Russia's largest strike on Ukraine. On the evening of July 3rd, Kyiv was hit with the largest aerial assault since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion. For 7 long hours, the city shook under relentless waves of destruction. Russia fired 539 drones, mostly Shahed kamikaze drones, alongside 11 ballistic missiles, targeting schools, apartments, metro stations, and medical facilities. Mayor Klitschko later counted damage across 6 districts. 40 apartment buildings hit, schools set ablaze, and even the Polish consulate damaged. Ukraine's Air Force claimed to have intercepted and shot down about 478 drones and missiles. But that left dozens that found their mark. At least 1 civilian was killed, some reports say 2, and at least 23 injured. The strike was indiscriminate. Fires consumed homes and cars. A medical facility in Holosivsky caught fire. Schools and kindergartens were hit. A train station lost power. 2 young children in Odessa were treated from smoke inhalation. A recruitment center in Poltava was bombed. 2 civilians killed, 11 injured. Why now? The timing is significant. Just hours earlier, US President Trump had a phone call with Putin. Afterwards, Kyiv's mayor and Zelensky said the bombing began almost immediately, almost like a response to that call. Zelensky called it deliberately massive and cynical, while his advisor Podolyak accused Putin of publicly humiliating Washington mid-diplomacy. It's a grim reminder. Diplomacy often proceeds alongside bombs, not before them. The strike's scale was historic. It's the largest aerial barrage since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Drones and missiles had rained down before, but never in such overwhelming numbers. 539 drones, 11 ballistic missiles. Ukrainian interceptors stopped most, but the survivors struck civilian lives and critical infrastructure. This assault wasn't just tactical, it was strategic terror. This was not an isolated tactic. Russia's drone strategy has evolved since 2022. The July 3rd attack employed Shahed 131 and Shahed 136 drones, widely sourced from Iran. These kamikaze drones are cost-effective, fly low to avoid radar, and can saturate air defenses. In this instance, the attack overwhelmed Ukraine's capabilities, exploiting gaps left by delayed Western military aid. The origins of drone warfare go back years, but Ukraine has jumped into it. Ukraine's drone warfare efforts have grown fast since Russia's invasion in February 2022. Starting with almost no drone industry, Ukraine has learned from captured Russian and Iranian drones like the Shaheds. They now make many different types of drones, including first-person view drones and naval drones. These drones are used for scouting, attacking targets deep in Russia, and even shooting down incoming Russian drones. This quick development lets Ukraine fight an uneven war using inexpensive drones against Russia's bigger, older military. Russia, meanwhile, has mass-produced Shaheds, aiming to exhaust Ukrainian resources and break civilian morale. Before this night, Operation Spiderweb, launched by Ukraine's SBU on June 1st, 2025, was a covert drone attack. Ukrainian-made OSA, WASP, quadcopters, 117 of them, were launched from inside Russia, often hidden in trucks. They targeted Russian Air Force bases, hitting long-range bombers like the Tu-95MS and Tu-22M3. This operation showed Ukraine's ability to use cheap, simple drones, sometimes with AI help, to hit valuable military targets far away. Some strikes were as far as 4,300 kilometers from Ukraine. Weeks ago, drones hit a power substation in Sergeyev Posad near Moscow, 75 kilometers from the Kremlin, shocking symbolic significance. Rostov saw drone raids and damage to apartment roofs. Drone attacks are now mutual. The sky is a battlefield on both sides. The history of drone warfare goes back to World War I, with early unpiloted aircraft. The term drone likely came from the British in the 1930s. Early drones were mostly for target practice and spying. Drones were first widely used in the 1980s by Israel and later adopted by the US in the 2000s during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. But the Russia-Ukraine war marks the first time drones have been used at this scale by both sides. Low-cost production, AI-assisted navigation, and swarm coordination have shifted drones from reconnaissance tools to frontline weapons. Kyiv's July experience was a clear demonstration of these tactics. Reports confirmed the use of both loitering munitions and coordinated drone waves. The aerial assault was not limited to Kyiv. Secondary attacks occurred in Odessa, Dnipro, and Lviv, signaling a wider campaign. Military analysts suggest Russia aims to destabilize civilian infrastructure while testing NATO's willingness to continue arms deliveries. Politically, the move shifts momentum. Kyiv called for urgent military support. Poland's foreign minister demanded renewed air defense aid. NATO leaders echoed the need for urgency. The message is clear: empty words won't protect cities. Putin interprets weakness as permission. Civilian casualties were limited due to early warnings and underground shelters, but the psychological toll was immense. Social media videos showed families sheltering in subway stations while explosions lit up the night sky. Damage assessments estimate tens of millions of dollars in infrastructure loss. Schools, hospitals, and energy grids suffered extensive hits. Meanwhile, Trump's response is measured. He said the call yielded no progress and that Putin isn't looking to stop. Trump later spoke with Zelensky, supporting efforts to strengthen Ukraine's air defenses, but the US weapon supply remains unstable until Congress acts. European allies fear a delay in Patriot deliveries could cost Kyiv dearly. From Moscow's perspective, the assault serves multiple goals: to weaken Ukraine's morale, test the West's resolve, and show off drone capacity, but it carries risk: civilian deaths, possible war crimes. Satellite images show fires, ruins, and scorched rooftops. Photos illustrate a civilian toll that Russia repeatedly denies. For Ukraine, turning drone defense into a national industry was brave. Their engineers now manufacture interceptors, homegrown drones that knock out attackers. Zelensky called it a clear task to expand production. This tech race may reshape warfare, not just here, but globally. The drone war will write a new military doctrine. Russia hopes to exhaust Ukraine. Ukraine hopes to outlast. But every strike reverberates from Kyiv to Berlin to Washington to Beijing. Each act isn't just a blow, it's a message in this 21st century battleground. This isn't just Ukraine's war anymore. It's the world's test case for the future of warfare. As drones grow smarter, cheaper, and deadlier, every nation must ask, how do we defend against the sky? The front line has shifted upward, and unless the world responds with equal speed and innovation, July 3rd might only be the beginning. Kyiv will rebuild, but drone warfare is here to stay, and every city in the world now lives under its shadow.